The deep tech industry is struggling as the war against Iran makes it hard to stabilize supply chains. Welcome to this week's edition of Strata Signals, where we will get you up to speed on some of the latest developments in deep tech and provide some links if you need some more information. One of the dullest headlines from last week is actually one of the most alarming. The Taiwan Semiconductor Industry Association has gone to the government of Taiwan and asked them to build up strategic reserves of liquefied natural gas, LNG, and helium. Why is this scary? The war against Iran is stressing the semiconductor industry by cutting off supplies of LNG and helium. Taiwan relies on LNG for 40% of its energy needs. And Taiwan is where TSMC, the world's most advanced IC manufacturer, happens to have most of its fab operations. Another big manufacturer, UMC, is also there. If Taiwan struggles to keep the lights on, that would be bad. Now, helium. Helium is something that fabs use in a variety of different processes, and there is no substitution for it. The country of Qatar produces approximately 1/3 of the world's supply of helium, and because of the war, it has had to shut down production. The US and Japan maintain reserves of both LNG and helium. Taiwan does not. TSMC and UMC think that it should. Let's put a nice fine point on this. Right now, the electronics industry has not been terribly affected by the war, but if it persists, it will be. Control of the electronic supply chain was the subject of a hearing held last week by the House Subcommittee on Commerce, Manufacturing, and Trade. The committee heard arguments against strict export controls because those controls reduce profits. If you reduce profits, you also force the companies into reducing their R&D spending, and that makes them less competitive. Meanwhile, the Commerce Department has been making changes to the CHIPS Act. Commerce recently shut down some R&D operations, and what it would like to do instead is replace it with some venture capital model. The subcommittee heard testimony that this is a bad idea because it relies on the judgment of the Commerce Department to prioritize R&D investments. That was some of the biggest news this week. If you'd like to learn more about the electronics industry supply chain, visit the Strata website where we'll have some links for you to dive deeper. Questions? Comments? We invite you to chime in and stay tuned next week for the next edition of Strata Signals.